So I'm not going to lie, I had concerns going into this game. The Kings have a tendency to play down to teams that aren't very good, and right now, Dustin Brown's point total is better than the Arizona Coyotes' point total. They're not sitting very prettily in the standings, and the Kings have been on somewhat of a downward spiral lately. I'm fairly sure you've noticed. The rankings certainly have, as far as whether we're in and out of the playoffs or not. Yeah. So this was potentially a game that the Kings were going to look back on and cry about. It turned out to be the complete opposite of that, and I was so pleasantly surprised. It might have had something to do with Darcy Kemper being in net again. I doubt it, because I love me some Jonathan Quick, and I don't want to talk down about him at all. I also don't want to look up when the last time it is that he actually won us a game, because that's a scary statistic I really just don't want to know. So Kemper played 2 games ago and got a shutout. I was all for putting him in the game after that, because once you're already riding a shutout, you should keep going and see how much longer you can play. It turns out another full 60 minutes, because he started tonight's game, first game since the shutout, and there's been 1 game in between, whatever. And it's 60 minutes of play, and he is looking sharp. And not just him, all of the LA Kings. It was so exciting. Of course, we did get the first penalty, and it was maybe like a minute and a half in the game, because the LA Kings just like don't know how to start a period, or again, it drives me nutty. But 16 seconds into that, Dustin Brown gets a shorthanded breakaway that the Coyotes don't know how to stop except for hooking, and that's illegal. So Dustin Brown drew that penalty, and we ended up with some 4-on-4 action for most of what would have been a penalty kill. So that's awesome. And things just went up from there. Tyler Toffoli scored our first goal. You guys, the LA Kings scored the first goal in a game. I know. I was just as surprised as you are. But breaking news, it is actually possible not to play from behind. Who knew? So this goal comes from the Toffoli Iafallo Kopitar line, which was absolutely on fire tonight. They looked beautiful, second only to Dustin Brown's line, which looked just as good. Oh, rolling 4 lines is such a great thing. I don't know why the Kings don't do it more often. So anyway, Toffoli gets this great, there's been a whole bunch of buzzing around the net chances for quite a lot of the Kings on the ice, but the one that finally makes it through, Toffoli gets the pass right in front of the net. It's a gorgeous pass, and Iafallo just so gently lifts the puck up and over into the back of the net, and it's 1-0, and the Kings are looking pretty good. There were several chances in the first period that they didn't bear down on. One in particular came from Kopitar and Toffoli that absolutely clear cut, 2-on-1. Defenseman goes down to try and stop the pass. Kopitar kind of lifts the puck over him, but I guess that bouncing puck meant that Toffoli couldn't actually get a handle on shooting the puck, which was unfortunate because it would have been gorgeous. So that didn't happen, and it kind of got me a little concerned that we're going to regret not bearing down on our chances going into the rest of the game, because a 1-0 lead, the way that the Kings have been playing wasn't actually reflective of that. It should have been 2 or 3-0 by the end of the first period. So definitely some good things to look at, but hopefully not concerning. Yeah, no, not even. I don't even know why I was worried. Sure enough, though, 1 minute into the second period, Toffoli gets a penalty, and seriously learn to start a freaking period, LA Kings. Of all the things you did right tonight, that's the one thing that just bugged the crap out of me. Again, it turned out to be okay, because then we got this beautiful Trevor Lewis shorthanded breakaway. And I'm just so happy to say that the breakaway turned into a goal. I love Trevor Lewis so much. He is now sitting on 13 points, which is a record, I believe, for him, which sounds crazy because that doesn't sound very good, but you know that Trevor Lewis is our unsung hero. And of all the little things that he does right, so maybe he can't get in the back of the net, but tonight he did, and it was shorthanded, and that is where the Coyotes game basically ended. Coming back from that just wasn't going to happen, because if Trevor Lewis can inspire the team with a shorthanded goal like that, then the Yotes didn't stand a chance. The Kings kept up their game. Oh my God, the puck management, guys. The puck management of the LA Kings tonight was so beautiful. They absolutely owned the neutral zone. It felt like every single pass they made connected. The puck was all over the place. The Coyotes had no idea where it was most of the time, and the Kings always seemed to. They had phenomenal chances at net, and honestly, in the second period, the best chance that the Coyotes had was when Paul Ledoux almost shot into Kemper. Maybe he thought that Kemper was getting bored and didn't have challenging enough. I don't know, it was a weird little moment, but it was all Kings all the time. Their forecheck was incredible. I just can't rave enough about how great the Kings puck management was. It drives me a little crazy that they can't do that more often, but anyway, things were looking good. So we're 2-0, and then comes the third goal. Lewis for the second, and then Kempe for the third. And this goal almost got waved off. There, if you see Tanner Pearson here is kind of standing close to, if not on, the goaltender. I'm not gonna lie, I literally have no idea what goaltender interference is anymore because there is absolutely no consistency as to what gets called. I could not guess 90% of the time what they think goaltender interference is. This was not, apparently, so yay, 3-0, the Kings are doing really well. Then Tanner Pearson gets into a fight. I know, I just said that sentence. Tanner Pearson got into a fight. This is just the end of it. It's the only video I could catch. That's because he didn't fight for very long, and then bam. It wasn't the greatest fight. But, you know, that's not really why we have Tanner Pearson on the team, so it's cool. So he's out fight for fighting. The end of the second period with 119 remaining, the Kings get a power play, and I don't love split power plays. I think you lose a lot of momentum. And we were kind of joking as the power play started, wouldn't it be great if we won a face-off and got a goal? Because, you know, sometimes Toffoli and Kopitar don't need any more than that. They need 0.4 seconds to score a goal. Thank you, Boston. Turns out we needed a little more than 0.4 seconds, but not that much longer because, bam, back of the net, Jake Muzzin, 4 goals in 2 periods. Oh, Arizona, I actually started feeling bad for them at that point. It's rough when you're being outplayed as badly as they were, and the Kings just made it worse going into the third period. Again, start a freaking period. Oh my God, they gave up a goal. It turned out it was offsides and it was waved off. But my point is, the first period started with a penalty. The second period started with a penalty. And the third period started with a waved off goal. Seriously, start a freaking period. So that got waved off, but Anze Kopitar's goal a few minutes later did not, and suddenly we're 5-0. This is at least the third chance I counted of Kopitar's that should have gone in the net, so really exciting that this one did. And if that wasn't enough, there was another one. 6 goals, guys. 6 LA Kings goals by the end of the game. And you almost want to cry mercy on the poor Coyotes. Their goaltender cannot have been having an easy time of it because the Kings were relentless. The defense in front of him wasn't doing a whole lot of good to him. And yeah, maybe you should have stopped some of them, but I wouldn't be a goalie for all of the money in the world. It's not an easy position, so I guess thank you for 6 goals. We really appreciate it. And to the LA Kings, please remember all of the good things you did this game and keep them up. Because I really, really, really would like to go to the playoffs this year. And right now it's looking better. The Ducks lost, so thank you to the Montreal Canadiens. You did very well. No thanks to the Blackhawks, who were up 2-0 and then ended up losing to the Flames in overtime. You are useless to me. I hate you. But anyway, we're going to keep looking at the standings as everything continues. We are officially after the All-Star break, so this is when we start to home stretch and start really seeing where the Kings are going to end up. The Central Division looks really good right now. They have 3 teams that have over 60 points right now, and they are the only division to have that many teams over the 60 goal mark. So if the Kings are going to want to make it in the playoffs, they're going to want to keep that puck management as tight as it was. They're going to keep rolling 4 lines that are as effective as they were tonight, and they're going to need to do that against teams that are not the Arizona Coyotes. So I'm really curious to see who starts in net next time. Kemper has, like I said, 2 shutouts in a row with the Jonathan Quick loss in the middle, but, you know, Jonathan Quick is our ride or die goalie. So stay tuned for our next game to see which Kings decide to show up. Hopefully it's the guys that showed up tonight, because it was awesome.